John Adams, the second President of the United States, was a central figure in the early history of the nation. Born on October 30, 1735, in Braintree, Massachusetts, Adams came from a modest New England family. His father, John Adams Sr., was a farmer and town official, and his mother, Susanna Boylston Adams, was from a respected medical family. Adams graduated from Harvard College in 1755 and initially pursued a career in law, establishing himself as a prominent lawyer in Boston. His early career coincided with the growing dissatisfaction in the American colonies with British rule. Adams's political career began in earnest during the 1760s when he became involved in the resistance to British policies, particularly the Stamp Act of 1765. He was an outspoken critic of British taxation without representation and became a strong advocate for colonial rights. His famous pamphlet, A Dissertation on the Canon and Feudal Law, 1765, argued against both British tyranny and aristocratic privilege, setting the tone for his revolutionary ideas. Adams' political activity deepened with the eruption of the American Revolution. In 1770, he defended British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre, a case that earned him both respect and scorn. His decision to defend the soldiers, despite public outrage, was driven by a commitment to the principle of fair trial and the rule of law. Adams's most significant contribution during the early days of the Revolution came in the Continental Congress. Elected as a delegate from Massachusetts, he quickly became one of the most vocal and influential figures in the Continental Congress. His leadership was instrumental in the push toward independence, culminating in the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4, 1776. Adams was a staunch advocate for declaring independence, and he played a key role in drafting the document alongside Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and others. Adams famously wrote to his wife, Abigail, that the Day of Independence would be the most memorable epoch in the history of America. After the Declaration of Independence, Adams was appointed to several diplomatic missions. He first went to France in 1778 to seek military and financial support for the war effort. He then traveled to the Netherlands in 1780, where he secured crucial loans for the fledgling American government. Adams' diplomatic efforts culminated in his role in negotiating the Treaty of Paris, 1783, which officially ended the Revolutionary War and recognized American independence. Although he was not as well known in Europe as Benjamin Franklin, Adams played a pivotal role in ensuring the treaty's favorable terms. In 1789, Adams was elected as the first Vice President of the United States under President George Washington. During his 8 years in office, Adams' role was largely ceremonial, but he was deeply involved in the development of the new government. He was a strong advocate for a strong federal government and supported Washington's policies, especially in foreign relations and national security. Adams' relationship with Washington, however, was sometimes strained, as the vice presidency exposed the growing ideological divisions between the Federalist and Democratic Republican parties. Adams, a Federalist, disagreed with the policies of the Democratic Republicans led by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison. He also became increasingly frustrated by his lack of influence in the administration. Despite these tensions, he remained loyal to Washington and played a key role in maintaining unity during a turbulent time in American history. In 1796, Adams succeeded George Washington as president. His presidency was marked by challenges, particularly in foreign affairs. The French Revolution and subsequent wars in Europe complicated relations between the United States and European powers. In 1797, France began attacking American merchant ships, leading to the Quasi-War, an undeclared naval conflict. Adams, despite immense pressure from his party to go to war, sought diplomacy and negotiated a peace settlement with France in 1800, avoiding a full-scale war. This was a defining moment of his presidency, demonstrating his commitment to peace and national stability. Domestically, Adams faced significant partisan division. The Federalist Party, which supported his presidency, was in conflict with the rising Democratic-Republican opposition led by Thomas Jefferson. One of the most controversial acts of his presidency was the passage of the Alien and Sedition Acts in 1798. These laws, which allowed the government to deport foreign nationals and criminalize criticism of the government, were widely criticized for violating First Amendment rights. Although Adams signed these laws into effect, he later regretted them, and they damaged his political standing. Adams also faced internal divisions within his own party, particularly with Alexander Hamilton, the former Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton, who was a leading Federalist, was a strong proponent of war with France, but Adams resisted these calls, which further alienated Hamilton and other Federalists. Adams' bid for re-election in 1800 was unsuccessful. He lost to his former Vice President Thomas Jefferson in a bitterly contested election that was marked by intense partisan rivalry. The election results revealed the deep divisions in American politics, as Jefferson's victory marked the first peaceful transfer of power between rival political parties in U.S. history. Adams retired to his farm in Quincy, Massachusetts, after leaving office. He spent his later years reflecting on his role in the nation's founding and his contributions to its development. In an extraordinary twist of fate, Adams and Jefferson both died on July 4, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Adams' last words were famously, "Thomas Jefferson survives," unaware that his old friend and political rival had passed away just hours earlier. John Adams is remembered as a principled and visionary leader. While his presidency faced criticism, particularly for his stance on the Alien and Sedition Acts, his contributions to the founding of the United States were immense. His advocacy for independence, his diplomatic efforts, and his role in shaping the early government left an indelible mark on American history. His commitment to public service, intellectual rigor, and dedication to his country continue to resonate as foundational qualities of American leadership.